and welcome to Patch Notes, the Home Games Podcast. I'm Yazeed, and this is Joseph.
This is episode 33.
I didn't say that, did I?
This is episode 33 of Patch Notes, the Home Games Podcast.
All right.
Today is June 9th,
Today is
2020.
Yeah, this is the tightest deadline for editing and posting.
I'm going to edit, process, and publish this on 6/10/20, which for all you math heads out there, that's tomorrow.
That's
So
literally like a handful of hours away. Like 4.
5 hours is midnight, so I got some stuff to do.
All right.
I've been very, very busy this past week. So instead of recording Sunday, I was like, hey, let's record Monday. And then Monday came, and then I was like, hey, let's record Tuesday. And then I can't record tomorrow at this point, so here we are.
That's right. And if you haven't noticed or realized, we're back in the Echo Cavern because honestly, I'm ready to die. If you hear like random crunching or noises, it's okay. It's Sapphire. She's just chilling with us too. Currently, she's eating her food, which is good.
It is good. You might have also noticed that we're wearing hats today. Like we mentioned last week. Our hair sucks at the moment. My hair really sucks. Your hair looks fine.
That's because it's under a hat right now.
Yeah. My sideburns do this like curly thing, so they're pretty fierce. So I'm keeping this thing on today just to avoid trauma.
That's right. You can't tell where my sideburns end and my beard begins.
It's an impressive beard.
Yeah, it's thick. It's definitely like grown in from high school when I burnt off part of my beard. I thought permanently, but it ended up not to be the case.
You dumped a thermos full of hot chocolate onto your mouth.
Yeah.
You couldn't grow hair anymore.
And like we talked about last week, I do have the hot sauce, in case you're wondering. A Mad Dog 357, and it's good. It's actually quite good hot sauce. I like it.
You did say you wanted to die, so here we are.
I said I'm ready to die. I didn't say I wanted to die. There's a little bit of a difference.
That's true. There's a slight nuance there.
Yeah. So do you want to just hop into home game stuff?
Home game stuff. How does the song go? I forget. I was supposed to last week. Song. Home game stuff. It was in there. I don't know how it sounds. I know the other two. What's Up is like the stoner, like wait. And then the other one is hardcore.
Yeah. I don't remember actually either.
We're terrible podcasts. Huh?
I think it's because it's right after the opening, and I just remember the opening. But the opening is way longer.
Yeah. And anyway, home game stuff.
Home game stuff. Do you want to go ahead and start? Because you have a lot of stuff to cover.
Do I?
Yeah, you posted a 32 file, like 1,700 lines of code PR this week.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all the stuff. So that's all the stuff that I have been working on over the past 2 months or so.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of that stuff I've already mentioned in some way, and some of it is not in there. Things like all the arcs and circles and stuff. So I spent most of the week going to my like test branch and then just fixing everything up and getting everything ready for pull request. And then I realized that I was still in the middle of implementing the dashboard. So I finished kind of, not really, the new home games dashboard with like the scrolly bar and all that kind of stuff.
Everyone's drinking water, as you can probably hear. Can they?
I don't know. I think they can.
Yeah,
they
definitely can.
So anyway, yeah, we're getting on dashboard stuff, and that has been going. I was just thinking before we started recording that I should have brought my other laptop so I could show you the dashboard so you could have a better idea of that. But no, so anyway, I have the kind of icons for the dashboard stuff going. So you can click onto a game, and then the modal comes up to create a session. But there's something in there, in the guts of the rendering of that modal that comes up, that like turns my laptop very warm whenever I do it. So I have to figure out what that bug is, because it also makes everything completely unresponsive if you open up a modal. So at the moment, everything's broken, but it looks nice until it breaks.
Okay.
So that's an improvement.
Very nice.
But yeah, no, so that's all I've been working on. I didn't realize, like I said, that the dashboard wasn't finished yet. So once I go finish the dashboard implementation, basically every game I have to go and update to adapt to the new Squisher changes, or the Squish.js changes. So it's coordinates instead of position size.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's what I got to work on.
That's a lot of stuff. I mean, so basically my week this week was just reviewing that PR.
Oh, you read it. It's not good.
I mean, it's not bad either. It's just there's a lot of stuff going on in there, and I'm sometimes confused as to like what problem does this code solve in the first place? Because I know there's like 4 or 5 different sets of changes in there. But really, what I was reviewing it for was I was trying to figure out how the modal works. So knowing that the modal doesn't exactly work definitely helps.
So
me.
it does work. There's something happening in my
there.
specific modal.
Okay.
That is, it's like not completely unresponsive. It can still do stuff, but the buttons don't work. But like it responds. It's just there's some calculation that's happening that just brings everything down.
Okay.
So I have to figure out what that is. But modals, like at their core, are really just the same as all other game nodes. It's just a rectangle with it's just after the other ones.
Elevated. Okay, that makes sense. I mean, yeah. So pretty much what I wanted the modal for is my Twitter game. So that's pretty much it. That's the other thing I forgot to mention. I'm gonna cut into your section to talk about this, but I actually did some research on crypto, the Node.js library, and here's the thing. I think crypto probably could work. Crypto has something called a cipher, and you can encrypt into a cipher and then decrypt from a cipher. But I guess my question is like, what problem are we trying to solve? So if we're just trying to encrypt the Twitter API and secret that you need to like get in there, if you don't want to use like an environment file, like an env file, then a cipher would work for that. Basically, like it's just as long as the server and the like client would need to know the same key, which is, I mean, that's pretty easy to set for both of them because it could just be the name of the game. And then there is a vector that you build, which is just random. So as long as it's random in the same way. So we could use the node information, like there's like part of the squish or whatever to build the vector, and then we could just encrypt the data and send it back and forth so that it could be encrypted and decrypted.
But if you have like a reproducible way to create that, I know it's like randomness, but the randomness is like in your implementation.
The randomness isn't the randomness would really come from the vector. So the vector is supposed to be the random piece. The key is fine to be pretty stagnant. So what my thinking is using just some chunk or like some value that would be consistent, and both the server and the client would know the same number or value. It doesn't have to be a number.
So it's either something that, based on the same information, the server and client can calculate something, or the server would have to tell the client, "Hey, here's your key."
Yeah.
In both cases, it's possible to figure out if I run it like if I am able to read the code for what generates a key, I can reasonably reverse engineer all this stuff and then just have my like converter running on your network, and every encrypted packet is actually just getting decrypted because I have the logic that's doing this.
Yeah, I mean, you could, but you would need to know the same like basically you would need to have the same vector. So it comes down to, can you figure out the vector? And if you're looking at the code, that vector is going to come from somewhere, but it'll be generated by the server. So the server will figure out the vector probably from, my thinking was just like a mix of like the player ID and a couple of other pieces of information, and it would send that across because the client would know that same information.
But then if you're sending it across the wire to the client to say, hey, here's how you do your calculation, if I'm sniffing packets on your network, I can still see that. It
would be the other way. So the client would send the encrypted version to the server, and the server would decrypt. But as long as the vector and the key, as long as those are known or calculatable, by the server,
Yeah.
then it's fine. But they just need to match up. But yeah, so crypto is like for people who don't know, crypto is like the underlying cryptography library that Node uses for its HTTPS and TLS like modules.
I'm not a security person at all, like at all. I don't know anything. But to me, it might not be as safe as it would need to be, because if it's possible for someone, even if it's at the time of whatever, I ran a packet sniffer on your network and I got all these back and forths from you and the game server, and then I have the code that is, it's all open source, so I'm able to see what's generating both on both sides. I think run something that just does that in reverse, because people are very smart.
I mean, yeah, I mean, the thing is that, of course, somebody could probably crack it. It's not like it's invincible to being cracked. It would just be kind of difficult. You'd need to be tracking that information and then put it together. And also, like, in this case, I don't really know what you would gain out of it. Basically, what you would have is the ability to hit the Twitter API via that person's information. But Twitter rate limits, and you can limit what your API does. It's like my key pair only allows you to read tweets. You can't write tweets. So I mean, like, stuff like that. Like, in this case, I think that that's probably enough. If we needed to, there isn't really a way to take it a step further. If that makes sense.
It seems like the benefit is, like you said, what's the goal of solving this? Then it's someone who goes to home games and they start up their game, and then they open up a .txt on the same machine and are able to copy and paste that into the game in order to kind of initialize it as that person, as opposed to putting it in the build process. I would argue that's probably not a very common use case, because people don't just have the .txt like handy, and if they do, I'm sure the convenience of being able to just incorporate it into the build would be better.
Easier. Yeah, it'd probably be easier. This really is like more of a case where, like, your friend doesn't have it and you're just setting it up for them real quick to play, would be my guess. Because it probably would be easier to just go to your Twitter developer thing, because that's available online.
Yeah. I don't know. At the end of like the thing is, I never ever want to be responsible for anything much, but like someone's private, their Twitter API key, like, even if the repercussions of that in specific are not super bad, the reality is that, like, private information that should be encrypted was kind of like, what is it, like Rot 52, where it's like, yeah, it makes it look different, but you can pretty easily do the reverse.
I mean, it's not as easy to do the reverse in this case. Basically, what you would need to do is you would need to be sniffing the package. So first, you would need to be sniffing the package that the server is sending to the client, right? Because that would include their full squish thing. You need to unsquish it. You would need to know what pieces I use to make up the vector, and you would also need to know the key. I mean, in this case, the key is pretty flat. Like, the key isn't really like the important piece, so my key would probably just be like the name of the game, and then the vector would be calculated from what it's being sent as, like, a squished value. And as it unsquishes, then we would figure out what those values are supposed to be to make up the vector. When we would send it back to the server, it would be encrypted via that key vector pairing, which builds I don't remember what it's called. I think it's called a password or whatever, but it hashes it and then it sends it across in the hash state. So really what you would get is the hashed version. So you would need to know all that information, and then you'd need to unhash it, which you could do. But I mean, you could do that without any of this information. Like, you could do that now if you really wanted to, on HTTPS, if you just use like a reasonable, what is it called? Request listener. But also, like, because it's over LAN, I don't know.
Well, like on a wider scale, if it is support the transmission of encrypted information from the client to the server in a secure and good way, and we don't really have a secure and good way because we don't have SSL stuff on, like, for secure WebSockets.
Yeah.
That's a whole problem, but there's like a potential, like, at least it's possible to solve that problem eventually with the whole Plex thing that we talked about.
Yeah.
Or implement a like good enough, but realistically anybody who wanted this could break it. Like, if that is our security, it's like a master lock, you know, and then lockpicking lawyer is like, yeah, like jam a toothpick in there and it's done. All you have to do is try.
Yeah.
Like, someone with basic beginner information can go and break our whole thing. Like today it's a Twitter API key. Oh, you know, it's not that bad, but like if it's a Spotify login or a whatever thing that we like, if the goal is encrypted data transmission, I think the end goal would be SSL.
Yeah, I mean, getting SSL or like a cert would be the way to go because that does have better encryption. But crypto is like the underlying encryptor for
Yeah, but then
HTTPS.
instead of like the whole private key SSL certificate managed by a authority, real security, it's us. Like, I don't know.
That is true.
I don't trust us to be the security people.
Oh no, I mean I agree. This is more like a stopgap solution to just cover it enough that somebody would really want to get that information. Like, I guess that's the thing is like somebody would really have to want and put in like some effort to get it. They couldn't just listen across the wire and be like, in plain text, see your key and secret for Twitter.
Sure, but if we're trying to build value into a system and we say, hey, home games is cool, you should come check it out. We have this feature, this feature, this feature. And as we naturally start to gain more people who are interested, the value of breaking our security and us talking on the podcast about how we probably would do it is probably not in our best interest. Because it's like, hey, everybody, we have this busted shit. Come check it out.
Yeah.
And here's how you would break it. And as this gets, like I said, more people, the value of learning how to break it becomes higher because there's more people that would have the information for you to take. And it's like, oh, you know, there's 1,000 instances running on home games instances running, and I like figured out how to do some crazy figure out how to break their encryption on like a wide thing. I don't know anything about security or the internet or technology, so I sound like a dummy. But that's like a nightmare scenario. We lose all trust.
That is true. But again, this is like a real edge case. Most people would probably just set up a secrets file and they would just run it off their secrets. This is legitimately like, this isn't your setup, so you don't have a secrets file. So you went to your friend's house, you downloaded home games, you got it like running for them, and then you're also like, I want to play this game. Let's go on to Twitter's website so I can get my developer key and secret and then put it in. And I'm not going to put it in a secrets file because I want it to just run for the session.
I guess I don't know how often that would happen. If it's like, hey, I'm going to your house, I want to show you home games. I mean, like, in my head, instead of saying, hey, download it and I'll put in my info, go to Pico de Gallo or go to some public demo so we can play like a janky, like laggy public version. And then you could be like, oh, cool, I'm gonna go do this myself. But like, you know, there's a significant amount of work, it sounds like, in doing this whole encryption thing, and it adds complexity to the squish and unsquish process, which at its core is a game rendering logic and not data encryption.
Well, when I was talking about using like some values from Squish, because Squish is an unsigned integer array, it's pretty easy to build a vector out of that.
Yeah, but like, if someone has the data and then like if everything is going over the socket and I have the thing that you use to build a vector, and then I'm assuming there's a function to build a vector, copy the message in Wireshark, plop it into the function that these dudes put up for me, and then I have the thing.
That's true. But again, all of this is sent over locals. So if somebody was listening over Wireshark,
It'd be on your network, and
wouldn't they be on your network and like doing that anyway? That'd be like going to Starbucks and using their internet, but it would be like HTTP.
It would be us putting effort into a like shoot yourself in the foot function.
I mean, yeah. I mean, like I said, like this was just research. Like we don't have to implement it or anything like that. I think the best possible solution is for people to just use a secrets file, because then the server knows and it doesn't need to go anywhere else. And the server is only going to make an HTTPS request out to the Twitter API with that information. And the only way for somebody to get that now is for them to have access to your box that is running home games. That's the best solution. This is more of like this is more like an edge case. Like I said, I think this is more of an edge case of like somebody doesn't want to set up their secrets file for whatever reason. And is this the best solution? No. The best solution is probably to just set up HTTPS, because HTTPS automatically does all the encryption for you, so you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's one of those things where like maybe one day someone has a use case where they ask us for that, and then we're like, okay, well, we'll go implement this kind of like, almost halfway encryption thing that would kind of protect you, but like in my view, we would have to put that in some sort of mode that lets someone know that like this is unsecure, experimental, blah 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 blah. So that way, someone can run a game in experimental mode if they wanted to show it to a friend or whatever, and risk it, So, just because I mean, like I don't know, that there's so much craziness with all that security stuff, and in my mind, the value or the benefit to us of like working on a home game that makes it fun is that we don't have to care, because like it's just running on your thing, There's no like login, there's no whatever, and we don't have to manage that stuff, so we don't have to worry about it. And like the whole integration thing, like if it's inevitable, then I think SSL is inevitable, but that's at some point in the future when we know what we're doing, which is not today.
No.
I have no idea what we're doing.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, there's also other things in crypto, probably. I can probably read up more about it. Like I said, this is just like some beginner research into it.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, people who watch this episode will have watched the previous episode on something like the R&D department joke.
Yeah.
This is like stage 1 of the R&D department's look into encrypting stuff like this.
Yeah.
But it's also like not like we're storing bank information either.
Well, not that people know about,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Credit card information, however, we do know. That's kind of like that's like my entire update was reviewing your PR and then researching crypto.
Cool. Yeah. So my update, I guess, is that all that stuff is still going, taking me longer than expected because everything does, but that will be done at some point. And then Square is in there. It's nice because I changed the game loader, so you don't have to write the game in index.js anymore.
Hey.
It just pulls everything from there.
Yeah.
So the dashboard just goes and gets everything sorted alphabetically and displays it in the list, and it's like, oh hey, Square, that's a game.
Mm-hmm.
Like it just works in that way. Like someone just adds a file and it's in the dashboard, which is pretty rad.
That's really cool.
Yeah. No, yeah, I'm happy with the dashboard stuff, and I think we mentioned last week, but Synovia is the one that designed that stuff, so we probably want to get. Oh, and she said that she'd be down to record at some point too. I don't know if she wants to be on video, but we can figure it out.
Okay.
But anyway, all that stuff so we can get her feedback and see what she thinks and what we should improve and all that kind of stuff, which I think would be interesting.
Yeah, for next week, I think it'd be kind of cool if we had the dashboard up somewhere. Okay. The dashboard up somewhere, and then if she was here, hey.
She wants to be on.
Hey, you're not supposed to be on the backboard.
Sapphire is on is on Yazeed.
Yeah.
For all you audio people.
Audio only people, yeah. She's a little rambunctious. I think it'd be kind of cool to have her on and show her the dashboard, then kind of talk through that. And also just in the idea of like general style guidelines, maybe.
Yes, that was the other question that we had for her, which would be interesting, because I am not the person to talk to about style.
Well,
guides.
I was going to also say, you're also kind of firmly against having a set style for all games.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to go too much into what we're going to talk about maybe with Synovia, but I really don't think that we should enforce consistent style guide between different things with different people, because really it's all just like what's the point? They're not part of like the home games brand,
Hey, down. No.
If it was about like if these people were employees for us, like if we were building, what's the company that does everything the same? Ubisoft. like Far Cry, how it's like everything has to have towers, everything has to have whatever. Like we would do that, but we're just providing the tools for people to do whatever they want. I think. So, anyway, we'll talk about that at some other time.
Yes.
We wanted to talk about two things today. Maybe we won't have time. I'm not sure because we're already half an hour in. But and I know you want to talk about that Future and Lil Yachty song.
I actually, I do. I do.
Go from there.
Well, do we want to we can talk about achievements this time, and then we can talk about what makes a game good next time.
Sure. Yeah, we can do achievements. I think that was kind of the main topic for this week, and then the kind of a secondary question that came up last week was what makes a game good, which is a very like abstract question. So I think it'll take some time to answer.
Yeah, my thoughts as well.
It's a philosophical question, really. You know, what makes anything good? What makes life good? What makes good?
Well,
these questions and more answered next week or sometime on the Home Games podcast.
I was going to say, what makes life good is there are like papers on that you could read.
That's true. It is true.
Yeah.
We'll do a live reading one of these episodes.
God,
that'll be the answer of what makes a game
reading
good.
a philosophy book? No, I'm okay. So let's start with achievements. Like, I guess maybe we could start with like what the general idea of an achievement maybe, and then talk about like what implementing it in home games, and then kind of pros and cons, if that's okay.
You mean like from our perspective individually? Just kind of like, Yazeed, run down achievements. And then like, just to give a view of...
Yeah, just like an overview of what an achievement is for people who don't play games very often.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, you go ahead and do that.
Oh, okay. I mean, like, an achievement is basically just like not like a secret objective because you know what it is. It's just like an additional challenge to do in a game. So let's say, for example, you're playing a game where you're supposed to, I don't know, eat 10 chickens, but there's an achievement if you eat the golden chicken, which is only on the screen for like 0.5 seconds. So that would be an achievement, for example. So if you can eat the 10 chickens and the golden chicken, then you would get that achievement. That's just kind of like a rough idea. It's like basically just like adding a challenge on top of kind of like the base game.
And I think a big part of achievements, at least for me in like modern, whatever, the start of it was the Xbox 360 really started achievements.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, like games have had secret challenges and stuff for a long time. Like Ratchet and Clank is one I can think of where there were the hidden bolts and the secret whatever. That stuff has been around forever.
Even like the original Dooms had like secret rooms and stuff, yeah.
Yeah. But I think the thing that really like changed it with Microsoft was the meta, the fact that you take the achievements out of a game, the challenges that you've enumerated, whatever, and then outside of the game you have a profile that says I've done these things. You know, I've beat Gears of War 2 on Insanity or whatever.
Yeah.
All this other stuff. And so the aggregation of all those challenges into like a other thing kind of creates something else. It's not really just doing the challenges or finding the secret levels in a game anymore. It kind of, like I said last week, it broke me as a person. Like it completely changed the way that I play games and find enjoyment in them.
Yeah.
From when I was like getting a 360 when I was 12. I was 12 when I got a 360. So I used to like games. I turned 12.
And it was downhill ever since.
Pretty much, yeah. So yeah, I guess it's like an overview of achievements. Did you want to talk about what you think about them, your experience with them?
I mean, okay, so like my experience with them is probably similar to Joseph. I mean, I had an Xbox 360 when that first came out, so like I was there when like Gamerscore like first became a thing, and when Steam implemented achievements, like that was a thing too. I guess on like my side of things, I don't really go for them. If I passively get them, okay. I don't really like make much effort. I'm not much of an achievement driven person though, which is sorry, that doesn't make a lot of sense. I'm like an accomplishment driven person, but I'm not gonna like
goal driven.
I'm like goal driven, but I'm not like gonna go out of my way to be like catch the golden chicken and try for like 4 hours to catch the golden chicken. I'm more like, oh neat, I got an achievement for catching that.
Have you ever flexed an achievement?
No.
Really?
Yeah, see, the other thing too is like the games that I play don't really like lend themselves really well to achievements.
Oh, because they're not they're easy games that have no challenge.
No,
So
no, it's not. It's not. It's like it's more like the intrinsic challenge of the game isn't usually like. I mean, partially it's skill, but also it's like let's take Stellaris for example. There's achievements for beating the game on like a bunch of difficulties, and also like a bunch of government types, and also like a bunch of different ways of like winning the game. And like I don't really want to like go through and beat the game 100 times. I've only beaten that game once, and I've put in like 400 hours. So like to put in perspective, like
Wow.
that game is very
crazy.
difficult. I'm not gonna like grind a game for an achievement when I'm just playing it for enjoyment, if that makes sense.
yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. But like I said, I even though like I was there when achievements started, I didn't really like get into it.
I get that. I think it takes a specific type of person. Like for me, the enjoyment came from, like my first 360 game was Dead Rising, and that game had 50 achievements, 20 points each. So you see a lot of modern games. They'll put the challenges in kind of a more. They'll weight them heavily in the score. So it's like, oh, beating the game is 100 points. Beating the first level is 5.
Yeah.
But Dead Rising was just 20, 50 across the board. So it would be like, start the game, 20 points. Kill 60,000 zombies, 20 points. And it was just this way of, outside of the game, it's essentially a way of the developer saying, here's everything you can do in my game that matters. Like, and it depends, because some games don't have achievements like that. They just have nonsense achievements, and it depends on the implementation of the developer.
Yeah.
But it was this thing of like, if I get every point in Dead Rising, I have beaten Dead Rising to the point where I cannot do anything else. The developer said so. They enumerated everything. You know what I mean? And it's like this way of, like, if I can get the points and I have them on my profile, I build up this thing of like, I'm the video game man, like I play so many games, I have so many points.
Yeah.
And that was the thing, like when I hit 100,000 gamer score on Xbox, I took pictures of my gamer score, I put it up on Facebook, I was so hyped, like telling people about my...
I mean, you should be. That's a lot of effort. For people who don't know, like 100,000 is probably still in like the upper 40% of people who play games.
I don't know what the stats are, but people very rarely have 6 figures in gamer score. So anyway, I think that was just like the initial draw for me, and then it kind of turned dark when I realized that all games on 360 had achievements. Yeah. So like Hannah Montana the movie, the game.
That one of my favorite titles for a movie game.
That was a summer. So for some context, that was a summer where I was 14 years old, had unlimited time, and a GameFly subscription. So like game rentals in the mail.
Yep.
And so, 12 hours, 14 hours a day, I'm just playing Xbox, and that's being conservative on the estimate.
Oh my god!
It's like, what else am I doing? Nothing. So I would just rent games and just go through them. Like, there's a History Channel made a Civil War first-person shooter, total trash.
Oh, okay.
I beat that.
Oh,
I beat it. Like I played through the whole thing.
Okay.
And that, and then Avatar and all this other stuff. And that's when I realized, like, I'm not doing this for fun anymore.
Yeah.
But I cannot stop the points. I need the points.
Yeah.
And I don't do that much anymore. But
I don't know. The only time I've really tried to grind for an achievement is, I think it was Halo 3.
Mm-hmm.
There was the if you can beat the game with these 3 skulls on, then you get an achievement. It's weighted heavily.
Yeah.
So my brother and I tried to do it, and we put hours in. Never did it. I quit, honestly. That kind of burnt me out. I was like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
I think we got all the way up to the second to last level or something like that, and it just became
that's so close.
The problem is to get to that point is weeks of playing, of grinding. And the other thing too is syncing schedules, because I'm 2 years older than my brother. It's to get to that point requires syncing schedules, because that was probably during the school year. It's we'd have to finish our homework around the same time, so we'd both be ready to go and get everything else out of the way before we started to play, and then we'd play for hours and just try our best. But yeah, I don't know.
Wasn't it fun trying to get the achievement though, even if you didn't get it?
It was fun to play with my brother, but I would have had as much fun if we just played Halo. If we just played multiplayer or Forge mode or just even replayed the story, I would have had as much fun.
Okay. So I guess for both of us, they kind of guide playstyle, but in very, very, very
Opposing ways. Yeah. I mean, so to give people an idea too, like most of the games I play are strategy games, right? It's like Stellaris, Civ 6, Civ 5, like the Total War games. And those games, the achievements aren't like, can you get the golden chicken in 0.5 seconds? It's like, beat this game on the hardest difficulty with this faction with these 4 units. And you're just like, it's too difficult to even beat this game, dang it. And then you go on Reddit and they're like, I beat this game in 15 minutes. And you're just like, why am I so stupid? I don't understand. But yeah, like, I don't know. It's just, it feels like a grind to me.
Mm-hmm.
That's not to say I don't want to see achievements in home games. Because one, I know the power of achievements, not just from you, but from my brother, who's also like you in that he loves to get achievements. But also because I do think that it is fun. Like, there is a fun in getting achievements. To me, as a human, I just don't like to go out of my way to get achievements.
Okay. So I guess on a like to take a step back.
Okay.
And just ask a simple question that kind of is stupid. Are achievements good?
Are achievements good? My answer is probably no. My answer is probably no. I think if your game relies on achievements, then it's bad. I think your game should be fun to play at least once all the way through. Like, for people to really play it and enjoy it. I think achievements are like an icing on top. I think achievements are more like dessert after a great dinner. And I think eating dessert after a garbage dinner is just a sad replacement for dinner. and so I think, like, if your achievements are there to just kind of like pump up your game,
yeah,
then it's okay. If your achievements are to like prop up your game and to like make your game like playable, then I don't think it's good. And I think a lot of people I think a lot of Xbox games and I think some Steam games just became that, of like using achievements to prop up their game. I'm sorry, Sapphire. What's that?
See, I don't feel the same kind of pull. Actually, no, this is wrong. That's actually wrong. I was going to say, I don't feel the same kind of pull towards achievements on Steam. And I don't think to the same extent I do, but I still do because I played Hong Kong Massacre for 5 extra hours trying to get achievements.
But that game was fun.
It was. And I think it's one of those things where, like, that game is replayable to a point, but the achievement gives me a reason to replay it. Mm-hmm. It's not just, like, the game is fun by itself, and yeah. But if I'm going towards a goal, I do something differently. But it's kind of like, I don't know. It's a really, like, impossible question to answer. But would I have played that game for 13 hours if it weren't for that last kill 10,000 people achievement? No. Do I regret those extra 6 hours? I don't think so.
Okay then.
But I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what the kind of like missed thing there is. Maybe I could have spent those 6 hours digging into another game on my Steam library that I'll, maybe enjoy more or something like that. Or reading a book or something else.
Yeah, I guess that goes in like opportunity cost from economics or whatever. So we'll put that aside because I don't understand economics. So instead, what I would argue for you is the game was fun on its own. The achievements pumped it up. It made it better. So putting more time into it is okay, right? Mm-hmm. In this case, the achievements were good. If we took a look at a different game where the achievement was, imagine if the achievement was, instead of killing 10,000 people, was kill 10 million people.
Yeah.
And the game wasn't fun. Now it's just a grind, and it's just trying to get you to play,
mm-hmm.
right? That's kind of like the difference for me between the two.
But it's really the same number. I mean, it's the same thing, different number. It's,
I mean, yes, but
10,000, 10 million. No, but like, someone was like, "Hey, how do we get someone to just mindlessly play the same level over and over again, killing the same 34 enemies in a minute and 15 seconds on loop?" That's what I was doing. There's only so many levels. You have to maximize your time, and I'm like, really over here trying to find how many like maximize enemies killed per second. It's like a very meta thing.
Okay, honestly, this is scary, and this is just like one of those things where you are gonna tell me later, like, you maximize something else, and I'm gonna be like, what is wrong with you?
No, well, okay. To be clear, I never actually got that achievement. So the problem was, and I wanted to talk about this later in terms, like if we actually wanted to implement it in home games, but that's kind of a different thing. But the reason I stopped is because I didn't have stat tracking. If it's kill 10,000 enemies, how many have I killed? I've spent 13 hours.
Yeah.
Have I killed 5,000? 4,000? I have no clue. But I'm not going to waste time because also I kept starting new games because one of the other achievements required beating the first 2 chapters without dying. So I kept starting new games. So do my kills aggregate across all saves? If not, I just wiped out 10 hours of progress from my original save. I don't know. So because of that, I didn't pursue the achievement to the same extent that I would have if I had seen the number of you're this close to it.
Yeah.
And I think the big thing that made that popular was Orange Box. Orange Box and like TF2, all that stuff had the tracking of achievements as you progressed.
Yeah, I was gonna say most Steam games do, or at least ones that I've played, I've seen like you're 4 out of 10 or like 2 out of 10 or whatever.
Yeah, recently.
Yeah.
But I mean, like Orange Box was 07. So that was when that stuff started. Because before, you didn't have that kind of granular tracking.
When did achievements start? When did the gamer's score become?
Well, Xbox was 05.
Oh, okay, so it's like 2-year period between the two. But Hong Kong Massacre is not 05.
No. But I mean, I'm sure that's just an implementation detail that they just didn't do.
Oh, okay.
As a developer, right? Whatever API they have for the achievements, they just didn't, whatever. So that's a bummer. But ultimately, that was the thing that like clicked me out of it to be like, oh my God, I'm wasting my time. So if I came from it thinking, oh my God, I'm wasting my time, I can finally uninstall this game. Most of my experience with that game was the achievements, not the game. And that's crazy to me. Like, what am I doing with my life?
Yeah, you have an addictive personality in
I
a
do.
way that is maybe unhealthy.
It's a problem. But I did. I uninstalled that. I will forever have one missing achievement in that game, and I've accepted that that's going to happen, and that's okay. Hurts, but it's okay. So,
How would you, okay, let me ask you a question. How would you feel if, let's say, a month from now, the developer puts in a patch that gives you stat tracking, and you see you're not that far away? Would you reinstall the game and play it?
that's one of those things. So short answer, yes.
Yeah, buddy.
It's one of those things where it'll be like, oh, it's Sunday night. I kind of want to wind down and do nothing, but I don't want to start a new thing. I don't have time to start a new thing. Oh, hey, I'm missing an achievement here. Oh, hey, the game is a gig. I can download it in 20 minutes, whatever. I don't know, internet speeds. And I can realistically do this in a night and kind of revisit this thing that I remember liking. Like, that is the situation I can realistically get into, but I don't know when I'll actually seek that out or ever look at that game on the Steam page again. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess for me, I definitely see like value in achievements as long as there was stat tracking. I don't like this idea of like you're just in the dark and you have to either make that feels too much like real life, and I don't like it.
I don't even know how many people you've killed. I don't
What? How many people you killed? I meant like I don't know, people who browse Reddit a lot. There's like almost always an Ask Reddit thread somewhere or gonna happen of like, when you die, if you saw stats, like what would be the top 5 stats you want
You
to
asked
see?
me that question before.
Yeah, I have. It's an interesting question.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like it's the same kind of problem of like, I don't track every step I've ever taken in my whole life. I don't even track them now really accurately.
But if you could, which I mean, like, is kind of a separate thing, but just stat tracking in general, for me, has always immediately changed my habits to get those stats where I want them
Maximize
to.
the stats.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gamification of life.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's dangerous, but it is valuable.
I think it's ruined my life on some level, not like in a real way. You know what I mean? But like, it's ruined my
On a real way, all right. Let's not back around this.
Not in any serious way. Like, ruining my life is obviously hyperbole, but it's not. It has taken away a lot of what I used to enjoy. You know what I mean? So I was gonna come into this saying I don't want achievements in home games, partially because of this whole thing, but also because I don't. A lot of the thing for me, like I said earlier, was the meta. There's no meta. Home games is kind of a self-contained thing. You know what I mean? There's no like stats outside of that, and we could talk about building a home games profile and blah blah blah, all that stuff in the future.
Yeah.
But what's an achievement in a game where most people playing likely won't play on the same machine again for weeks or months, or anything like that? I do think it's I've before implemented Mozilla Open Badges in a work project, and it's essentially that. It's this like Mozilla profile that you have that has this aggregation of accomplishments that you've gathered from places who give badges. So if I have like a training or whatever, you come to my training, I give you a badge, and then on your badge profile, you have this accolade, whatever. And so we kind of, as like a proof of concept, implemented this in one of my old jobs, and I was working on the front end stuff. So it was all in React, and I built these hooks of basically when an action happens, check if that's a thing that is achievable. You know what I mean? And if so, then check the numbers and then do something about it. And that was kind of fun setting up that framework from like a technical perspective. But we scrapped the feature, but it was fun to build.
Yeah.
And I think if we were to try to do achievements in any time that I can see in the future, for the foreseeable future, then I think it would be one of those things where it would be fun to implement, kind of lame.
Wow, this is funny because I'm the one who doesn't like achievements, and yet I'm going to actually defend achievements in home games. I think that we should take an approach more similar to the games that I play in terms of achievements.
We should play the games like mine.
No. I don't mean that. I mean, the games that I play, their achievements aren't like do this specific thing. It's beat the game, do it in this way, like that kind of thing. So like for example, Square, a simple achievement would be like beat all 9 levels. And that's on that machine. So that machine, somebody has beaten all 9 levels on that machine.
What about somebody? But then it's like, hey, everybody.
You could track their name because we have the player name. We could say like this person beat the game on your machine.
But when they come back, how do they recover? Like we have the recovery of a name in the session of a home games thing. But if you guys are coming to my house every week, and then on my thing it says Yazeed has this, how do you come back and claim Yazeed?
See, here's the thing: is I'm thinking it more of like old school arcade, where you're like the 3 letters and that's it. Yeah, or like the 3 A's because you just don't want to do the work. But yeah, like that was what I was thinking. Is basically just like you log into the game. There's like a little achievement section. It's like, have you beaten this game? Yes or no. Have you done this in this game? Yes or no? And it'd be like simple things. Like for example, in Square, have you prevented somebody from moving forward and gotten them killed? Who did that and who got killed? I think that'd be hilarious if you're just like, oh yeah, remember that time that we were playing and then like I don't know, like Yazeed blocked Joseph and he died right on the last level and he couldn't win the game anymore. Like I don't know, like that thing, like highest score in Square, like did you win every round against your opponents? Like basically you would win level 1 through 9, never dropping a level.
Yeah.
I think those would be like the kind of achievements I would go for. I wouldn't be like, now this player has sunk 10,000 rounds into. Have you dodged 10,000 cars in Square? Like that doesn't seem fun.
That's up to the developer. But if they give the opportunity to do achievements, someone could always do the 10,000 cars.
That is true. I think that the idea would be like to give guidelines, and then part of the review process would be like maybe suggesting like, hey, this achievement is like specific to a person as opposed to like specific to like the game itself. I would rather achievements be like, did somebody on your box do this thing, right? Like, did somebody get killed by a car because somebody prevented them from moving forward? That's a funny achievement. Did somebody beat all, like basically did someone just complete smurf, like wreck everyone else on the console, like went from 1 to 9 in Square, never dropped a level, like never came close to losing. Like I think those would be fun achievements, and I think that our guidelines should probably be something along those lines, where it's like like think more like arcade would be like the way I would suggest, like high score, like just beating the game in general, like maybe doing like a couple like really specific things, but not like grindy, because the chances of somebody doing something like grindy like that, and the other thing too is like I wouldn't tie a number value to those achievements. I think it should just be like, hey man, have you done this like on this game? Like, have you played this game? Have you done these things on this game? Sorry, and then and just go from there. I don't know, that's kind of like what I was thinking when we were like over this week when we were thinking about achievements. Like that's what I was thinking.
Yeah. And that's I didn't think about kind of like a hybrid thing of no points because like I said, part of it for me was the outside. So if home games is inherently ephemeral, then tying it into something that is all about persistence like fundamentally disagrees with what the thing is, at least at this point. So because this is all outside of the realm of premium services and persistence and accounts and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This is just for home games as it is today and for the foreseeable future. There shouldn't be much outside of just that instance of the thing. And if you approach it like an arcade game, like when you unplug those, they clear the RAM and they lose the scores too. So it's actually kind of like it. Was there a max number of achievements that someone should have? Thinking about like, at what point are you overwhelmed with all the things that you could be doing?
But I, honestly, it depends on the game because like if somebody wrote like I don't know 4 million lines of JavaScript, maybe they do have 100 achievements. But like for Square, I really can only think of 4. Yeah. Like, have you beaten the game? Have you killed somebody? Like, have you beaten a level? And has somebody just won all of them basically? And if somebody lost all of them, I think that'd be a funny one too.
Yeah.
And just like those 5. And it basically just store in like maybe like a TXT file or something like this, like a JSON file or something. I mean, you just, load it up as part of like the metadata or like just kind of like a side view of the game.
And then you'll get kids who find out that text file is there, and then they go and edit it, and then they flex their achievements on all their friends.
See, but
I'm not arguing against that. I think it's pretty
like,
rad.
Who cares? Maybe it doesn't matter to anyone else because it's not like there's a global power ranking.
Yeah.
That's why I was thinking like maybe don't add the number value to it because I don't know if Steam does.
Steam does not know.
Yes, like I don't know. I would go outside as my knee against the thing.
Okay, yeah, okay.
So before this, I told Joseph my dog has been a little gassy, and I was like, I don't know if she's gonna fart or not, and I don't know if the mic will pick it up. And then, of course, I ran my knee across the wall, and it makes a fart noise.
I don't know who picked it up, but we'll see.
But yeah, I don't know. I think maybe like a mix between like how Steam does it and like an arcade game.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, the other thing too is like you can just clear the file. And if the file's not there, where it's gone, there are no achievements for it. Maybe you got into a fight and broke up with all of your friends, and now you're like, yeah, and I don't want any of their information in my home games. We could even have a button like reset all achievements.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, yeah, I think that's actually really cool. I wasn't thinking about it in that, like I said, the kind of in between way, but I like that actually quite a bit. So I don't know where we go from there. Like I don't know if there's an implementation plan or anything like that.
I think that adding achievements should be something that we do, and I think that it'd be a good idea for us to actually come up with a roadmap for achievements. Not on this podcast right now.
Yeah.
Sidebar to the podcast, we come up with like just like a roadmap for like how we want to implement it, and like really put out our approach to it, and then if we could document that somewhere, then people could see like this is our thought process for implementation, and then also maybe it'll help people like enter the home games sphere.
Enter the home game
in terms of like developing, like I don't know, I think that the problem is like a lot of people who are interested in writing code and just have no clue where to start. And if you and I sat down, like road mapped out, like, hey, these are like the milestones for it, then they could understand like how maybe they'd learn a little bit on, like how to make milestones, and then kind of like the coding fits into that as well. I don't know.
No, I think we should probably, for every major feature like this, from this point on, we should probably have a document describing what we're doing. Mm-hmm. Like we don't need for everything. We don't need super crazy like architecture and UML diagrams.
I want to see that UML diagram. So I
hate UML diagrams.
I know. All right, fine. No UML diagrams. An NFA. Give me an NFA.
Circles with lines. And but yeah, I do think we should probably document that stuff. We'll probably talk about that at another time when we can kind of have a stable, solid feature set that's not like half in PR and half in another branch and half in whatever. And then we can kind of have like a solid foundation to start whatever. Because planning features when you don't even know what features you have is kind of hard.
Yeah, agree.
So yeah, achievements. That is a fun conclusion we came to.
I'm honestly pretty interested. I'm actually kind of excited that I managed to convince you. I know you like arguing, so.
Well, I'm not like stubborn. Oh, I'm very.
You
stubborn.
are, yeah.
I'm very stubborn.
You are, and you like arguing. So like the fact that I proved a valid point to you makes me pretty proud of myself.
Well, anyway, yes. Yeah, it's okay.
I'm just patting myself on the back, man. Don't worry about me.
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. It is one of those things where giving someone the power to do. Well, actually, you don't have the power to do the like meta crazy control someone's play style because there's no value of these stats outside of home games.
Yeah,
that is the thing. Like, side note, I even listen to music differently these days. Like, I know who my top 5 all-time artists are, and I don't like the order. So I intentionally try to go out of my way to listen to artists more than others because I want those numbers different. That's how I live my life.
Remember earlier in this podcast when I told me you were going to tell me something absolutely crazy and I'd have to just sit here and be like, oh yeah, that's fine. Like, this is that. And I'm just sitting here like, yeah, okay, all right, that makes sense. That's crazy, dude. What?
It's like, it's actually freeing about vinyl because there's no stats on it.
Yeah.
And like as we move towards this world where everything is streaming, this is why I keep saying I want more stat tracking on Spotify because I'm insane. I want a breakdown of everything I do, like every day, so I can maximize my numbers. You know what I mean?
I understand, yeah. I understand. I track my like travel distance every day with my dog. I don't want it to ever be below 10K.
That's a lot.
And that's like, I mean, that's like specific number. Like 10K, that's 6 miles, almost exactly. It's like, if we're below that, I'm like, we're gonna go again. Yeah. You settle up. We're going on a walk again.
Yeah. Well, that stuff is beneficial because you actually get exercise. It's like the Apple Watch gamification of all their activity rings and stuff like that. It's all just, ways to make you do better. But I'm trying to just get Kid Cudi to back to number 1. That's all I'm trying to do.
Hey man, that makes you happy. I don't walk her because of the health benefits. I walk her because I like it. I know she does.
Yeah, but I'm saying you do. It is beneficial overall. Like me getting a little pop up that says I sat down for 12 hours playing Xbox is not like the best thing.
You remember on the Wii when you're playing on the Wii and you'd be like, "Hey man, you've been playing this game for too long. You want to chill?"
That's just Nintendo stuff in general. I thought they did that on like GameCube too.
Oh really?
I think so.
The thing is, I had a GameCube. Only ever played one game on it.
Which game? Great. Yep. Big fan. GameCube over here.
It was a WWE game, and my brother loved it, and we rented it on repeat from GameFly.
Good GameFly too. We
did for a little bit, yeah. We ended up dropping it because it was like my brother was using it to just rent the same game over and over.
So you could just buy this. Yeah.
And I basically stopped because I think that was probably like around that. We probably stopped like around the time that like my wrist started to hurt when I was holding a control for too long.
Yeah.
Got that firm grip.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else for home games?
No, that was it. Just kind of continuing stuff. I have been murdered this past week by everything that's not home games, but I'm back on it this week.
Nice, man. I'm glad. Do you want to move on to what's up?
What's up?
Hey, all right. So here's the thing. I originally was starting to write stuff down. And I was like, nothing happened to me this week. And then I started writing stuff down, and I was like, a lot of stuff happened to me this week. Yeah. So I don't know if you want to go first, or you want me to spice them in between, or how we want to do this.
I don't have much. I've just been playing games like I do sometimes. So that's not super interesting. So you go ahead.
All right. So here's a couple of things. First of all, the missing trash can dilemma. I think I mentioned last week, or maybe it was just privately to you, but my trash can went missing 2 weeks ago. So, yeah, I got a replacement, and
you don't know where
I
it
have
went?
a trash can. No, I have no idea where it went.
Oh, that's kind of
It's a big question mark because it was out there when I left in the morning
Yeah.
because I had a dentist appointment, so I had to go to the dentist appointment. When I came back, it was still there.
Mm-hmm.
When I went for a walk in the evening, it was gone. No one knows. I asked some of my neighbors, and like, oh, trash can went missing? I was like, yeah. So I don't know what happened to that. But I have a replacement, so I have a garbage can again, which is good because
They have a lot of garbage.
I did have a lot of garbage. I had 2 weeks of garbage just waiting to go on in. The other one is the mountain's on fire. I don't know if you noticed that.
I saw them on the way here.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I don't know how many people know. That shit's been on fire for like 3 days now. Right? Like I remember when the first morning I went out for a walk and I was like, I know it's like a little chilly out, but I don't think it's chilly enough for fog.
Yeah.
And then I turned the corner. I was like, "That's a fire!" And I got to see like the whole like they started like pouring the fire retardant, and like the planes would fly over and dumping water, and like the helicopter would dump water and stuff. Yeah, it's on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember, like, what was it, 5 years ago, 6 years ago? I don't remember what mountain it was. Couldn't have been Mount Lemon, was it? It was like a giant fire.
It might have been Mount Lemon.
Because Mount Lemon caught fire multiple times.
Yeah, it might have been Mount Lemon because I think all the cabins on there are new because all of them burned down.
Well, that's what they've done that like 4 times in my memory.
Yeah.
It's like the whole mountain burned down. We built it again.
Yeah.
Like, maybe stop.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Fires are like important to natural habitats.
Yes, when I say natural habit, but like, why do we keep trying to get in there?
Because we won. All right, listen. I've been telling people this for a long time now. The reason winter is the best season isn't just because it's cold, but it's big proof that we won against Mother Nature. Mother Nature's like, it's cold outside, don't go out here. And we're like, I'll just put on a jacket and I'll be fine.
Yeah.
And you are. And that's how we won the war. We won the war against nature. Yeah. Yeah. And we've never looked back, ever. And we never will.
That's true.
Now we're at the point where it's like looped around where we won so hard, we're like, we'll protect you, Mother Nature. So, yeah, okay. And then the next one is actually just a silly story, a small tale about a snake.
Okay.
Sapphire and I were on our walk, as we do.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw a snake ahead of us, and I pulled her to me, and we walked around the snake, and it didn't really do anything. It was on the sidewalk. And when we came back, I was like, all right, and like the snake should be coming up now, and it was gone. And I was like, You know what the worst part of it is? Like, seeing a snake going one way, but when you come back, it's gone. You're just like, I don't know if I passed it. I don't know if it's coming up. So you gotta like stay more focused than normal.
Yeah.
And then the next day when we went on our walk, it was dead. It got hit by a car, and there's only like half a snake left. So,
Oh.
yeah,
That's
R.I.P. Mr. Snakey.
That's I don't know if you saw. There was a GIF recently of like I think it was a rattlesnake hiding itself in the sand, and it like just curls up and it just like until the dirt's all over it, and that was like terrifying because I think we talked about this.
We did not know.
Because you go on hikes and it terrifies me because you're
Oh yeah,
you're out there by yourself. It's very scary.
I am. It is scary. But it's okay.
But anyway,
Next on the list is solicitors. I don't know how to handle them. They just
don't answer.
The problem is that dogs like to see what happened when a doorbell rang. They're like, I know that somebody's on the side of this door, and I gotta know if I need to fight them or if they're friendly. And so she kind of like bumps up against the door, so they know I'm there.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
They just know the dog is there.
Yeah,
you don't owe them anything. They came to your house.
You're right. They came to me, and I don't even know them.
You don't owe them anything.
You're right.
Put a thing up that says, "Go." My mom has a doormat that says, "Did you call first?" So that's pretty.
Ooh.
That's the kind of energy you need to have.
I do. I originally I have a doormat that says welcome, but I told my mom when we first moved in here I wanted a doormat that just said no thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's been going on. The next one is a new game that I've been playing. It's called Valorant. It's from the makers of League of Legends. We should play it. I think you might like it.
Isn't it a closed beta?
No, it's open now. It's not even beta. It's like release. It's free though, but it's fun. It's like CS:GO with magic.
I've read that it's like CS:GO and Overwatch.
Yeah, it
People
is
who are
actually.
bad.
it is CS:GO for people who are bad and Overwatch for people who like to pretend that they can play CS:GO.
When I said people who are bad, I mean like the people are bad, not that they're bad at the game. Because if you watch the Donkey video and like read about the community of that game, it's all just people who suck.
Yeah, no, I mean it's from the makers of League of Legends, and that is probably by far like the most toxic community you could find on the internet.
I can show you some communities, but yeah.
No, see the thing is like I've been that is true. Okay. All right, that's fair enough. You're good. You're right about that. I don't know. It's fun. We should play.
Yeah.
I've been playing with Zach mostly because JC is a question mark most of the time, and Tynan, who's very good at that game, which I kind of expected because he was like global elite in CS.
I haven't talked to Tynan in weeks, but let me guess. He's super into it, and he claims it sucks, and he takes it very seriously, and he plays it all the time, and he says it's bad.
He didn't actually say it was bad.
Okay.
Actually, honestly, the only complaints that he's had was that people are bad at the game and they haven't figured out like what's good yet. And also, like people are just falling into the gimmicks. Because like basically, like his argument is like, if you play this game pretty much exactly like you play CS, you'll be better than everybody else. And I think is probably right. Because like people use guns that in CS are considered like just like below trash tier, and they seem to be okay with it. Yeah. The funnier thing is I'm actually not bad at it, which I mean I'm historically like horrific at shooters.
Yeah, you're not a first-person shooter person.
No, I'm not terrible though at this one.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's improvement.
It is. It's pretty fun. I don't think there are achievements in it. Sorry,
I'm out. Playing with my friend for leisure? Nah.
Yeah.
No.
And then the last one I had was just a short tale about how stupid your boy here is. I went to my office because I wanted my hot sauce and also my keyboard, which was there still.
Very important.
And I went on a day that I thought no one would be there. And it turns out the receptionist was there. And so when I walked in, I had my dog with me. And because I thought this would be like a really short trip and she would stay focused because this would be like, we're going to an unknown environment. She wouldn't really have time to explore. It'd be like an in and out, like quick job. No, I had to talk to the receptionist. And Sapphire started to explore the building and got a little bit too cocky. And so when we stepped out of the building and she didn't have a leash or collar on, she was like, I see desert. I'll fight that. And she just took off into the desert. And I had to chase her down again, and I ended up chasing her into a local gym's parking lot, where a lovely older couple was staring at this dog, and a person literally exploding out of the bushes because she ran through like the bushes, and I like popped out of them, and I was like, "Hey!" And the other thing too is like because I didn't have a leash or collar, and she is a dog who is very prone to chasing things, I had to carry her, and she weighs 62 pounds. So just imagine me with this dog like across my front, just hoofing it back to my car. Yeah. And the receptionist, she was super nice. She was telling me like she was getting ready to like go and grab us, but then she saw us coming back. Yeah. Yeah. So that's just I'm very dumb.
What kind of keyboard do you have?
I have two. I have a Logitech keyboard and I have one from WASD.
Oh, I remember you told me about.
Yeah, I have I have what are they called? The silent red switches. It's like blue and gray. I'll show you after.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll make you mad because I definitely use like a random assortment of keys. Like I think my alt key is like the Macintosh, like fancy Greek symbol. And I use one of the Linux distros symbols as my like Windows key.
It's like total anarchy on your keyboard.
It is. I don't know. I like it.
Anarch keyboard.
Anarch keyboard, but it's blue and gray and black, so it kind of fits how boring I am as a person.
I also went back to my office to get my keyboard because I left it there before everything exploded, and then I locked myself in my office. So that's how we're both dumb.
How did you lock yourself in your office?
It's one of those buildings with a key card.
Oh, yeah?
And the building wasn't... I got out, obviously. Like, I had to go through, like, a sketchy thing in the stairs. I didn't know if I'd be locked out, because if the thing locked behind me, the main doors were closed and locked, and My key thing wasn't working, so I had to like just kind of risk it all and go into this unmarked door, hoping that it would be an exit, and it was. So thank goodness.
Remember Gould Simpson?
Yeah.
Like when you would be walking and some of the doors are locked on the floors.
Yeah.
It's kind of panic inducing because you're like, I may have to walk up like 9 flights of stairs to get in the elevator to come down.
Yeah, but at least you can know you can escape, and that it's a university, and that there's so many people that are available to like assist you if you actually get stuck.
Yeah.
I was like, it was work, and so the whole point is people weren't there because they said don't go.
Yeah.
And then I go, and I get stuck in. And I didn't have a box or anything, so I was just walking around with like a loose keyboard and everything else that was on my desk. It was a
Oh my
nightmare.
God.
Yeah, it was stupid.
I'm so sorry.
I made it. I have my keyboard. That's all that matters.
I don't know. Are you ready to move on to Song of the Week?
Song of the week.
Yeah, buddy.
All right. Your song of the week. Go.
So it actually starts with a story.
Okay.
So this week, I learned that perhaps my favorite artist's music is no longer available on Spotify.
Oh shit! Yeah. What?
So my favorite artist, they're like one of the 3 artists I would point to and say like they made my taste in music. They broke up like 5 years ago, and so I in the back of my head like I knew that eventually their songs would fall off of Spotify. What I wasn't expecting was this week they would fall off of Spotify. And so Made in Heights, their music is no longer on there.
Why?
I don't know.
Wouldn't the like original release of that always be the original release of that?
I think because they broke up on bad terms, they don't really want to like interact with each other, and probably like having to split the income and stuff like that's a bit too much for them.
But would that already be?
I don't know.
That's interesting.
I don't really know. All I know is that yes, they were off of Spotify. Yazeed panicked hardcore and asked around on how to find this and tried to find a vinyl or a CD or anything, and it's like impossible because like their site is also down now. Like literally, they're impossible. Like you just can't find it anywhere. And one of my friends found it for me, and he gave me a digital copy of pretty much everything they've ever made. So I was really excited. So my song of the week is actually going to be 3 songs that I don't know if you can find anywhere anymore, but if you really wanted to listen to what I think is the best music ever made, you would listen to Death by Made in Heights and Murakami by Made in Heights.
I gotta write this down. Like, Murakami. Isn't that an artist?
Murakami is a Japanese author, really well known for making kind of like surrealist books.
Ah, okay.
Yes, like Murakami, the song is about one of his books actually, where he gets lost in time. And I think Death is just, it sounds way more grim than it actually is, but I think Death is my favorite song.
You said there were 3.
The other one is Forgiveness by them as well.
This is like a short story. Death, Murakami, Forgiveness.
Yeah, I mean they're all off the same album, but yeah, it's they are off of I wouldn't. What would I be without my enemies? I think is the name of the album. But yeah, all 3 of those really good. Forgiveness was the first song I ever heard by them. Then Death and Murakami took me a little while to get used to, but I think that those 3 kind of show what I think is music in its best form.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah.
That's coming in strong. Do you think, for whatever reason, I'm reminded of our episode 0 conversation, which comes up often.
It does.
About YouTube and about in the future, everything is on streaming, everything's available, everything's online until it's not, and then it's gone. How do you feel about the like? This is why I have like 14 terabytes of storage on my computer for exactly this reason, because I'm a like digital prepper.
Yeah.
So how are you kind of like? Are you changing your perception on streaming and any of that kind of stuff, or?
So let me say this. So Yazeed, the current Yazeed.
I love this third person talk
Yeah.
that we're having.
So the current Yazeed is afraid of losing a band that's important to him.
Yeah.
But the Yazeed I want to be instead would say, I appreciate having heard them and like what they've made me feel and like how they've built up my taste in music, and it's okay to let them go. So like that's kind of like where I'm at. Like I want to be able to just say like, okay, they fell off of Spotify, so like it's okay. But I'm still at the point where like I panicked and I was like, I don't want to lose them.
So you care in the terms of your personal association to this thing that doesn't exist anymore for all intents and purposes.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm okay.
But it does exist. The CDs exist. I'm sure there's.
I don't think
you
that
have the files.
I do have the files. I don't know where my friend got them,
Yeah.
so I'm not gonna put.
The internet,
I'm not
don't
gonna
worry
say
about
his
it.
name, so or her name.
You also said you have the files, which makes you like a culprit, you know.
No, because I'm not distributing.
But you have been anyway.
Anyway,
Lost.
laws are too complicated for our
So we
idiot
just
brains.
ignore them.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I want to be able to just say like, the effect it had on me was like great. Like really, like their music made me appreciate indie pop more and like find pretty much everyone I listen to right now. It's like almost every band I listen to is post Made in Heights. It's like from Made in Heights I found pretty much everyone else I listen to, and like the style and like their like what they talk about, like all those things I really vibe with. I want to be able to say like thanks for like doing that for me. But if it falls off of Spotify, if I can't listen to it again, then that's okay.
But you're saying that it falling off of Spotify equals it is no longer available, and the reality is, the second anything is released digitally, and unless it's a very rare occasion where it actually is deleted before anything happens, but like it's copied and people take it and people have it and it exists.
Yeah.
And that was the thing about YouTube. It's not about if anybody would watch it. It's about if it exists.
Okay, there's a scene in Adventure Time, the TV show for kids, where Jake the dog takes his favorite mug and he throws it out the window, saying that you should be able to give up anything, basically. Like,
Sure.
I guess that's kind of like my philosophy. It's like I want to be able to accept like anything is gone, like be able to give up any one thing, as long as I have something like that I can fall into, if that makes sense. Like I want to be able to say like I can replace Made in Heights with blank, but at this point, like there's nothing really that I can. Like I don't think that there's anything for me in the same way that Made in Heights was for me.
That's interesting. It seems like you view this stuff as like I can't think of a better word, but like a possession of yours, of like getting rid of your possessions is the same thing of getting rid of experiences, or like because like music is not a possession, right? It's like I can go and listen to anything on Spotify, and if it goes away, it existed, it exists in my head, but I can't really let go of it the same way I can let go of the laptop.
Yeah.
There's like something, but I guess from my perspective, it's like, I don't know, the thing exists, and it will always exist in some way. As time goes on, eventually we'll hit a point where there are no copies of this anymore, because every hard drive that ever had it has gone bad, and every whatever. That'll happen in time.
Mm-hmm.
But like the idea of that thing is no longer on streaming, therefore it's like out of my head from this point on, and it'll always be a memory that I'm like really struggling with, but that's okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I know it's kind of like a weird position to take, but I want to be able to like appreciate something right now, but be able to say like it's okay to like let it go. Like if it falls off of Spotify, I want to be able to say like it's okay if I don't listen to it again. I already like experienced it as much as I could during that time, because I listened to like both of their albums front to back like maybe like 100 times. So like if it falls off of Spotify, maybe I should be able to say like it's okay. Like maybe I don't need to listen to it again. Maybe like what I found from there is good enough. Like I took away what I could.
Right.
I've grown. But instead what I said was, please, somebody help me find this goddamn thing, because I don't want to lose it. I held on tight.
But if it was so special to you, you're basically saying like it's gone from me, and the next person will be able to experience it, and that's just kind of how it is. Which is true for a lot of art that exists that we recorded that we never heard of before. You know what I mean? Like things are made every day that we don't experience, but like I don't know. I would be so hurt by that. Like if Kid Cudi, like for some reason, all of his music was off of the earth tomorrow, and I could not get it back. And there's no world where I show my kids like soundtrack to my life, which is a weird song to show my kids because it's sad. But like you know what I mean? That world doesn't exist. Like hurts me. And that's why I try so hard to I take so many pictures. I record so much stuff. I keep everything on my hard drive because I don't trust the internet, and I want to be in control of all these things that I think are important digitally. So I want to
I mean, this is definitely this is one of the key differences between you and me.
Yeah.
I'm definitely much more willing to let go of things. Relationships, I'm a lot harder to let go of. I don't like losing friends or family, but material things or experiences, I'm willing to give up to some extent. It's kind of back to movies. I'll watch a movie once and that's pretty much it. I don't usually watch it a second time because I feel I got what I wanted out of it. I got what I could out of it.
Yeah, but it's a time and place thing. What if your mood is different next week? What if you didn't want to watch Titanic today? It's it's so crazy. The thing that makes the experience is there's so many variables that go into it.
I think that's kind of one of those things where, because I've watched movies only one time, I've gotten pretty good at watching movies exactly one time. I don't need to be in a specific headspace to just watch a movie and enjoy it and to pick up on the emotions that I'm gonna take away from it, or something from it that I'm gonna take away from it.
That's wild.
I don't know. It's kind of a Zen or Stoic piece of Zen and Stoicism that I've taken from reading books and some of the books I've read. And I was I kind of vibe with this.
Yeah.
Just being able to experience something and then let it go.
Yeah. Okay.
But to retain the I doubt I would be able to forget the experience listening to Death for the first time, but I'd be okay with. I want to be able to say I'd be okay without listening to it again, but I'm not. I want to be able to listen to it again. Since I got it again, I've listened to it 15 times already in this week.
Yeah. I'm not going to argue with you. I just think that's so foreign to me. The idea that
it's crazy.
It's not crazy. It's different, but I don't know, man. It's such a wild thing to me to be experiences or whatever. But anyway, whatever. I mean, I'm not correct either. I'm saving all this stuff like a weird hoarder, but realistically, I never go back to a lot of the stuff that I save. Me and Sanovi had this whole conversation because she's like, "Why do you take so many pictures? You're never gonna go look at these. There's no world where you're 60 years old and you go back and look at these. You will never." And it's just yes, but I could. And that's always my thing. It's but I could. And you know what I mean? And it's just a very fundamental difference, I guess, in the way that we view that stuff. But that's interesting. Part of what makes this podcast. So,
it's probably part of what makes our friendship so good.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we were the same at stuff.
We're very similar, but they're on some things we're exactly opposite opposed.
Yeah.
It's one of those things.
Yeah, you got gray hairs in your beard.
I
just realized
I have red hair in my beard too, man.
How did that happen?
I don't know. Apparently, it's not uncommon. I have gray hair just in general.
Damn.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna take my hat off and show you, but yeah.
He says as he takes his hat off.
Well, I was adjusting. I didn't take it off all the way. Jeez. Okay. Anyway, what is? And the other thing I want to talk about, and I don't know if you were gonna talk about this.
Yeah.
But the Bankroll Mafia.
Oh yeah. Okay. So for some context, song of the week. We're still doing song of the week, but this was gonna be my song of the week this week, and then I had a different song of the week. So I wanted Yazeed to listen to it just because of one particular thing. Bankrolls on Deck by Bankroll Mafia.
The way they say Rax is the funniest thing I think I've heard in a long time. And if I didn't own a dog, I was telling Joseph, I didn't own a dog, I would say it all the time. Because one of the ways he says it's Rax, and it's just it's so funny. I don't know.
When the hook is going, there's a part where Young Thug in the back just says Rax, he grumbles it a little bit, and then he comes back in a second time and he just says it a little bit more intense, Rax. And then the last one, he rolls it Rax. He screeches it
really
out.
happens.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Pasta does it out this.
It hits you.
It does.
It hits different at that point in the song. It really does.
It also had a lot of examples of stuff I think you referenced last week about just repeating a line or a thing at the end for emphasis. There's a lot of that in there.
It was a well constructed song. I don't think I would listen to it again, but I would definitely cut out the parts where he says Rax and then just string it together. Yeah.
When I heard that, I ascended to another plane. I was oh my god, this is incredible. I heard that thing when it came out a long time ago, but I wasn't a Young Thug fan the same way I am today. So that kind of stuff really just turn me off instead of making me like love it, which is crazy how that works. But
Man. Well, they say it takes like 21 listens or something like that for you to like really get something.
yeah.
So I wonder what you listened to 21 times to get you to Young Thug.
Good Times and Hyenas, and there's another one called Old English. He's got a bunch of old slappers. All these things came together, and it's like, oh, Young Thug sucks. He's so annoying. His voice is whatever. Okay, that song's pretty cool. Oh, that part where he does that one thing with his voice is pretty cool. And then now it's like you just love whatever he does.
The funny thing is, I don't even listen to a lot of Young Thug, but like I like the way he does that.
Yeah,
it's great.
He's so unique. It's like
it's wonderful.
A dude makes songs where you can hear him like hundreds of times and they're never boring. It's so crazy.
Well, because you don't really understand it half the time.
You're like constantly learning new things about the song. Like we were talking this week about I think the line is rose gold something something dropped 210 car came with no tint. I think that's what he says, but we'll never know.
If he dropped 210,000 and his car didn't come with tint, that really is a flex.
That's what I'm saying. What kind of luxuries does he have if he doesn't even have tint?
Well, I think the point is like he has a lot of money to the point that, but not enough money. If that makes sense. And that's why the guy goes like, damn, at the end. He's like, you have a lot of money, man. You're a little crazy and you want more. Like, damn.
Yeah, I could see it. That's part of the artistry, you know?
Really
We're going to talk about this for years.
That song is so different than stuff I listen to that I've thought about it a lot since then.
What was it?
Dollar Bills on my head. Yeah, Dollars on my head. There you go.
Did you listen to Money on the Way Again?
I did not listen to Money on the Way Again.
That's a slapper. I listened to that so much this week.
I really forgot about that after the Rax song. I'm not gonna lie. I listened to the Rax song and I was like, all right.
Yeah. That's fair. What is my song of the week, right? That's what I'm doing?
Yeah.
My song of the week is Grace by Lil Baby and 42 Doug. 2 G's on Doug.
Grace? By who? 42 Baby?
Lil Baby.
And
42 Doug.
Lil Baby and 42 Doug
D-U-G-G.
with 2 G's.
Yeah.
All right.
So this is a song. His album came out actually maybe a month ago, 2 months ago, and I talked about it on the podcast. It's about like just being a kind of album that I kind of generally enjoyed with nothing too special to say about it. But then this song, I went back and listened to it, and it's there's something really that I can't articulate about why I think it's great, but it starts off terrible. Like the beat it really, really fades in so you don't hear anything. And then 42 Doug is just mumbling, like really offbeat, slurring, mumbly, and like the beat's like way over there, you know? And it's just like, oh my God, this sounds horrible. And then even the bass hits before his sentence is done. Like that's how offbeat it is. Like, you know, like whatever. And then it's just like, boom, and he's still mid-word. And it's like, this sounds terrible. But then it just starts to kind of recover and then go so on beat and so good sounding in like a very seamless way. So it's kind of like how you have to experience poverty to like enjoy wealth. It's kind of like that. Like the song starts off so bad and then it gets so good. And if it didn't start off bad, it would have just been a song.
Oh my God.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand your point. I haven't heard the song yet, but just knowing that I have to understand poverty before I understand wealth that's gonna stick with me, I think, on this song.
You just enjoy it more. You appreciate it more. You whatever it more. But like, there's just parts of that song that just like click so right, and they get stuck in my head the way that like a good Young Thug song does. But there is an artistry to the terrible opening verse of that song, and I think it's fascinating.
I don't think I've ever heard a song that specifically opens badly. Mostly because if I hear a song that opens pretty badly, I'm usually just like, all right, on to the next one. This is not going on the playlist.
Yeah. Well, I remember because I put
water, by the way.
No, I'm okay. Okay. When I originally heard, because I listened to the album front to back, and I hit that song, and I remember I had the reaction of like, skip this is terrible. but it kept going, and then I liked it at the time, so I added it to my playlist, but I never heard it again on my playlist until this past week, and I had the same experience. I was like, oh my god, who added this? And then, okay, right, yeah, okay. I even played it for my mom, and she, like the face she made, she was like disgusted by the music I was playing.
That's
for her.
very funny.
So anyway, 42 Doug and Lil Baby, great. There's a video for it as well if you're interested in cinematics.
When I met my brother's friends in California,
Yeah.
she definitely, one of the people I met there, she was definitely like, you gotta watch the music videos, bro. The problem is most of the music I listen to is like way indie pop, where there's like, it's like 2 people, like 100 people worldwide listen to this on Spotify, and like there is no music video. They don't have a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay. I didn't have the heart to tell her that.
Yeah.
But I think there is something to watching a music video for a song.
I love music videos. My favorite one ever is My Band by D12 and Eminem. Fun fact about me, if you want to go look that up, Eminem, which is a little part where they're like a mariachi band, do the whole thing.
I mean, there's like the Slim Shady music video from Eminem I really like.
Like the Please Stand Up
Yeah,
one?
yeah. That one's fun. And then I think I like Tool's music videos. They're just so out there.
Yeah, they're like acid trips.
Yeah, they really. I feel like I feel like if you were on acid and watched Tools and listened to Tool,
It might sound good.
Whoa! I think it'd make more sense. I think it'd be like Jenny. I think it'd make more sense. No offense to Jenny, if you're listening. You're really cool.
She's definitely not listening.
No.
But I was gonna say, your song of the week last week was Woods.
Oh, Bonfire by Woods?
Yeah. That song I actually enjoyed quite a bit. That one,
Yeah.
the singing was nice, and the fact, like we talked about vocal like layers and stuff, like the thing hits in the background at the same time, but it's a different, anyway, like all that stuff. It's very subtle, but I enjoyed it quite a bit. Listened to it just before I came here.
It's it's good vibes.
Yeah,
right?
it is good vibes.
It feels like camping with your buddies.
I've never been camping with my buddies, and it didn't sound quite like what I imagined that would be. Every time I hear something like that, I just see a Starbucks in my head. Like that's the only environment that I see. I don't put myself in like.
Honestly, that's probably true though. It's probably like the only place that I would hear these songs, like Starbucks at like an hour before closing.
Yeah.
When they let the like baristas play their music,
Yeah.
it's just like the out there stuff.
Yeah. Like
I'm a Starbucks barista in terms of musical taste.
That's okay. But yeah, anyway, that was my report on your song of the week last week. Pretty good.
Thank you.
Happy you liked Dollars on My Head. I will check out these songs that are apparently not on the internet. So
They are on YouTube, so their YouTube channel was there, and there are like a couple like other channels that have their songs on there, and I don't think they're gonna ever ask for those to be taken down because they didn't go through a music label. That's the other thing, is there's no label. When I was talking to one of my friends who was a musician, he told me like, oh yeah, just contact the label. They'll give you, sometimes like for a lot of money, they'll give you like the 96K one version. And I was like, And then I went to go look at him. I was like, there is no recording label. These were just 2 people who put this out there. And I'm just like, damn it.
what's kind of, I mean, like, okay, that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
What if one day we hate each other? This stuff is just off the internet. Are you hurt by that, or is it kind of like glad it happened?
I'm hurt by the fact that we're not friends. I'm not hurt. Yeah, I know. I'm not hurt that it's not on the internet anymore.
Yeah, I mean, like, as the artist, I would think that these 2 people want their stuff to be heard still. I don't know. I mean, it's their choice to get out.
The problem is that both of them were like okay on their own, and then they came together, and I think they split up again. So like there's basically it's just 2 people. The singer, who's a lady, she is now like her solo career is there, and like she has a kid, and like she's doing pretty well. And the producer, like the hip hop dude, is like a hip hop producer out of Seattle, and like he's pretty well known in that part of the world, I guess, for his hip hop tracks, Sabzi. So yeah, it's like they're coming together was definitely like more of like a, not a power couple, what is it called, like a super group kind of between the 2 of them in terms of like way indie stuff, and also the fact that it's like a hip hop producer and like an indie pop vocalist makes it like a different experience to listen to their music.
Yeah, That makes sense.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that's all I had for Song of the Week stuff.
That is all I had for Song of the Week stuff,
Do
too.
we have rapid fire questions?
We do have rapid fire questions. I have two, but the point of the rapid fire question is for us to have this with that.
Yeah.
You're going to be okay to drive after you have this.
There's no like alcohol in it, right? I'm okay.
Well, all right. Well, there is no alcohol in it, but will you be okay afterwards? I don't know if that's true.
I should be fine.
Okay.
And if not, we'll get everything on video and I'll die. And it'll be interesting.
All right, so here's my recommendation for it. It pours weirdly in that it starts slow and then really picks up. So pour it kind of gently, or I can pour it for you.
So are you putting hot sauce directly on a tortilla chip?
Yes.
Okay. Can you just fill up my glass?
You would die instantly. You'd instantly die.
Yeah. You want to show the camera how much you put on?
So for the camera, it's just a little droppy.
And am I doing the same?
Yes.
Okay. Are you asking what your question to me? What's the game here?
So basically, I'll tell you the questions. They're two questions. The first question is, what is the coolest thing? And the second question is what? Oh, you are so fucked, dude. No, don't you? Listen, don't eat that much. Don't eat that much. Don't eat that much. Take a different chip. Take a different chip.
Well, here, I'll use this chip to scoop off of this.
Okay, that's fine. But if you ate that much, I'd be calling an ambulance.
Is that good?
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm ruining this salsa, by the way.
That's fine. That's fine. Well, I had a friend who when I brought the stuff out for the first time, he had a burrito and he went to go and pour it, and he poured a lot on his burrito, and he was like, I can eat it. He ended up laying in the bathroom of our office on the floor completely naked, like trying to cool off, and he was just sweating. He ended up having to go home because his stomach was just it was on fire. His whole body was on fire. That's why I was like panicked when you poured that much.
I'm not gonna eat that much.
Okay,
I'm gonna go move a freezer after this.
Yeah. Okay, so it's a good thing you'll be moving a freezer. You can put your tongue in there. So yeah, it's like the first question is, what is the coolest thing, and the second question is, what percentage of you is cool?
So okay. Should I eat this first?
Yes.
It's got that like dark chili flavor. The coolest thing.
Oh God. You okay?
Yeah, no, I'm good. For audio people, Yazeed has left the room. He's in a predicament, as am I. Oh God. It was a mistake. All right. Well, I'm gonna keep talking because Yazeed's over there. The flavor is deep. It's deep. I guess that's how I call it. If you've ever had like a Mexican chili powder, it's like a mild and a hot, and the hot tastes like the desert, like the desert sun, and it's got like this rich burn to it. Tastes like that. Thanks.
Yeah. Oh God.
So that was an experience. I think the coolest thing is genuinely being happy for things that are going on for yourself and others. You know?
Yeah.
That's how you can be cool. Because if you just like to see people win, then everybody wins. Because everybody wants to see each other win. That's intense. I'm gonna need some water or something.
You want milk?
Yeah, please. And percentage of me that's cool. I would say like 55%. I mostly like seeing people win. Everybody has jealousy in them, but for the most part, I'm pretty cool. You know? You feel that? You vibing?
I'm vibing.
Oh God, thanks. That's crazy. I've never had a sauce that hot before. I've had like a ghost pepper sauce,
Oh, really?
but it wasn't that much ghost pepper.
Oh, okay.
This is different. It's got that. It's got that like. It just feels like you're dying at the bottom of like the Grand Canyon.
Yeah. Oh, God.
What are your thoughts?
So my joke at work is that whenever I need to write really good code, I have a little bit of this.
Yeah.
For the same reason people microdose.
Because it gives you that like mental unlock.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Oh, God. So for people who don't know,
I just figured out circles. I'm just joking.
Really spicy food is just actually pain in your mouth. And, yeah, obviously after that is to release painkillers. Which is why this hot sauce is pretty good for writing code. Because you're kind of hopped up on painkillers, natural painkillers. Oh, God.
It's quite an experience.
Yeah. I mean, I think you're pretty right about what's cool. Like, just being, like, supportive and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think being cool is just not necessarily, like, finding your own way, but, like, accomplishing, like, your stuff, you know?
Getting stuff done.
Yeah.
Providing for you and yours.
Not even necessarily that, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. Like, I think for me, it was like, when I did, like, my hike, I thought that was really cool because it was something I'd really put a lot of work into, like, a whole year's worth of practice to, like, achieve it. And I think, like, people who put in a lot of work to, like, achieve something, I think that's really cool.
Like getting 10,000 kills in Hong Kong Massacre.
Like, getting 10,000 kills in Hong Kong Massacre is pretty cool.
Now, I don't know what percentage of cool I am because they didn't give stat tracking.
You do not. I'd say I'm, like, 30% cool.
You're pretty cool.
Thank you. You're a cool guy. Oh, God.
I don't know if I want that.
No. Here's the thing, is Joseph originally poured out a lot. And I told him that it pours weirdly, and it does. But if you ate that much, I'd call a hospital.
Yeah, that would probably do real damage. I know somebody who got like real proper like intestinal problems from just like eating way too many.
Oh, really?
For like a week, they had real issues.
I'm a little bit more careful about hot stuff in this day and age.
My coworker's wife apparently can't taste things unless they're spicing them because she like burned out her. Anyway,
That's a real problem.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't enjoy super hot food, but I enjoy the feeling. You know, I'm vibing right now.
Yeah, like once it wears off a little bit, my voice is cracking. Once it wears off a little bit,
Once it wears off.
yeah, hitting that Mickey Mouse pitch.
Cool. Well, I have questions.
Oh, okay.
Are you eating more sauce? Or
No, if I ate more sauce, man.
Would you rather run a mile backwards with your eyes closed or crawl 3 miles?
Crawl 3 miles.
Really?
Absolutely.
Crawling though.
Yeah.
Like hands and knees crawling.
Easy.
Why?
You don't know where you're going when you run backwards.
That's true.
And after my recent run-ins with javelinas, bobcats, and rattlesnakes, I'd rather do that knowing that they're there, even if I have to crawl.
Okay, imagine it's like downtown Tucson, so mostly like city sidewalk, relatively flat.
Oh, backwards then.
But it's still like intersections, and there's still some people and obstacles.
Or people can just think I'm weird. I'm fine with that. And the intersection is gonna be rad.
But then you run into somebody backwards, like near Hi-Fi, and you have to fist fight them.
Or you just say like, "Hey, bro, you got anything?" And then they're just like, "Okay," and you leave.
Just take your shirt off and scream. You'll kind of blend in with some of the others, and they don't.
I'm gonna be honest. If you ever had to get in a fight, I think taking your shirt off and screaming is the number one step to win.
Yeah, no one wants to touch that. No one, it's like intimidation.
Yeah,
Or
there
you
was
just-
a
yeah.
there was an old YouTube video. No, it wasn't. It couldn't be on YouTube. The guy got stripped down completely naked. Basically, it was like going to be like a road rage incident. The guy pulled a baseball bat out, and he was and the guy gets out of his car and takes his shirt off, and the guy's like, yeah, okay. And then he takes his shoes off, his socks, and his pants, and his underwear, and the guy just like takes off, like, all right, I don't want to deal with this.
I just saw a thing from video of, like from New York. It was like a drug addicted guy. It was different. Fully naked man just swinging on someone on the sidewalk. There.
Yeah, getting naked is really powerful. I always told my brother this, like, you know, there's like people who are like, oh, there's like a ghost in this house or whatever. Like people have paranormal experiences.
Yeah.
I don't think a ghost wants to see you naked either. I would just say rip your clothes off and start shouting.
Just walk around, just become a nudist, and there's no ghosts. An ugly nudist.
Or just a regular nudist. I don't think a ghost wants to deal with naked people. I don't think anything wants to do with naked people. Except for like animals.
Some people like naked people. Second question. If you were a truck driver, like a long-haul truck driver.
Okay.
This is inspired by my American Truck Simulator last week.
I figured.
What would you do to keep yourself awake?
That's a really good question. So, I don't really drink much caffeine anymore.
Did you ever?
Yeah, I mean, I used to drink tea every morning.
Yeah, but that's not.
And then, this would have been when you were at work, but when on campus before one of my math classes, because I thought that math class was super boring, I'd grab an iced Americano, a double shot of espresso iced Americano, which I think is just an iced Americano.
Yeah.
And I used to have that, no cream, no sugar.
That's hardcore. That's what JC got too, right?
Yeah, that's why I got it. Because I told JC I've never ordered coffee before. What do you get? And he's like, I don't know, get something delicious. And I was like, what do you get? And he was like, I get a nice Americano. And I was like, is it good? And he's like, no, it's bitter. He described it as bitter butthole. And I said, well, all right, I'll try it out. And it's just so much caffeine, and it was okay.
Yeah.
So that's like kind of what I stuck with. I don't know. Maybe this hot sauce, honestly.
Seriously, I'm like hyped right now.
Yeah, it's a real turnaround. Like there's like the initial like pain and like your body like crumples in, but like when it comes out, you're just like amped up, ready to rock and roll.
We're gonna have to throw the explicit tag on this one though. We
Yeah.
let some F-bombs go.
Yeah. Yeah, my bad. But yeah, no, I think this hot sauce maybe. I like to listen to music, but most of the music I listen to is just for vibing purposes. So I don't know.
They say sing along if you're getting tired. That's always a good thing. I don't know.
I mean, you've heard some of the songs I listen to. You describe them as sparse, and that's true.
You could still do something to those songs though.
I mean, I nod my head. I like boop around a little bit. Yeah. I don't know. I think I don't have it in me to be a long distance trucker because when I used to have to drive an hour to get to work every day, I was emotionally drained and I hated it.
Yeah.
And I think anything longer than that would hurt me emotionally. Like I've driven to California before.
Which is like a 5-6 hour drive, depending on where you're going.
We went to LA, so it was a little bit longer.
6, 7.
Yeah. But it's okay. Like it's okay. I don't like it. I prefer flying. I don't like driving places.
Yeah. Yeah, but you can't fly a, Walmart cargo or whatever people truck.
That is true.
It's the whole point of truckers.
I say we just stop buying things and become
Let go of everything.
let go of everything.
Post stuff, Yazeed.
No, I don't know. Yeah, hot sauce, music, sing along, maybe. Maybe I get back into drinking iced Americanos.
Yeah. I heard a lot of them do meth, so yours sound like better.
Yeah, I see. The thing is, I think a lot of people, their baseline is I have a cup of coffee in the morning, or like I'm not a person. My baseline is I will wake up and I drink some water or something, and I'm good to go. So I think that like just a coffee is like that's like the jump equivalent of like from coffee to meth. Like from water to coffee is coffee to meth.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I think sometimes my caffeine thing is weird. Like I can go a whole day without caffeine and like feel nothing. I'm totally fine. Wake up in the morning and feel just normal without it. I mean, like water is nice and whatever, all that stuff. But caffeine is either like absolutely nothing or way too much for me. There's no like solid cruising velocity with caffeine for me. Anyway, glad that you have your future career planned out for when you become a trucker.
Thank you.
Third question is Fantastics or golf and stuff? For those who are unaware, Tucson, Arizona is where we live, and there is there are two local family fun centers. One of them is called Golf and Stuff. The other one is called Fantastics.
Yes.
They're both like the same thing.
Yeah. I've been to Fantastics more recently than Golf and Stuff.
What'd you do at Fantastics? Was it laser tag?
It was laser tag.
Did I tell you about the time I played like real laser tag?
No, you talk about the time you played paintball.
Did I play paintball? No, I did. That was airsoft.
Airsoft,
my
my bad.
my
Yeah,
job.
your old job.
No, yeah. What was I saying? What was I just saying? That hot sauce is hitting. What was I just saying?
Laser tag.
Laser tag. Anyway, laser tag's rad.
You played laser tag. You play laser tag with like adult stuff. No?
Yes,
Like
yeah.
laser
For
tag.
another work thing, there was like a big place in, I think it was Renton in Washington or somewhere close. But it was like a giant arena these dudes bought or leased or whatever. And their whole business was just running laser tag in there. And you have like realistic heavy weapons and you're like running around and it's like Call of Duty. They even, I think, play the songs from Call of Duty. It's like,
That's pretty cool, actually.
and then you play like domination type stuff. So there was a moment where I was like camping at our point after we defended it, because like you run up to it and you shoot it from the top into it to like register, and then you're there and you get like recoil because it kind of like pops a little. You have to go back and you have to like refill ammo. You're like crouch running the whole time for 2 hours. You get great exercise.
Yeah.
And I was like camping and I just like gunned down all my coworkers in one go, and it was like the best feeling. Like laser tag actually can be fun. Fantastics laser tag sucks compared to that.
Yeah, I think it's the kids.
Yes. Yeah. It is.
The kids, one, don't understand, like, you've been shot, chill. Also, they're too short. Everything is head high for them. They can see you, kinda. You cannot see them.
Yeah.
You just be chilling, you get shot, you're just like, all right.
Yeah, this game's over.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's okay. So recency bias is Fantastics, but I don't know. Golf and Stuff has some good memories.
I don't have a strong preference either way. They both have bumper boats.
And go-cars.
Laser tag.
Laser tag. I think only Golf and Stuff has the batting cages.
Oh, well then I gotta give it to Golf and Stuff. I love batting cages.
That's why I was pointing it out, because I knew you like hitting balls.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think maybe I would go with Golf and Stuff, because I think there's just more to do there.
And their advertising is so much better. That song will forever.
I've never heard ads for
Dude,
Fantastics.
you haven't heard? Oh yeah. Fantastics. No one cares.
Yeah, I've never heard an ad for Fantastics. I know that song like backwards and forwards from Golf and Stuff. Yeah.
If you're curious about what we're talking about, just look up Golf and Stuff Tucson, and you'll find the commercial.
Yeah, it's been going on since like the 90s.
Whatever. I have a bonus question. I don't know if I want to ask it. It might be.
Yeah, go for it.
It's June.
Yeah.
What are you doing for Father's Day?
Oh my God. Yeah, when is Father's Day?
It's like the 23rd or something. I don't know. It's a Sunday.
I have to text Jacob Booker.
Yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to ask you that question.
That's
That'd be funny.
so funny. Oh my God. For you who don't know the story behind that one of our very, very good friends was at my house, and we were all just chilling. And he turned to us and was like, "Oh, like it's like this is the day before Father's Day." And he's like, "Oh, what do you guys think for Father's Day?"
Keep in mind, he was talking. So it was me, Yazeed, JC, and then Jacob.
Yeah, and my brother, yeah. So when he asked that, of those people, he's the only one with a father figure. So like literally all of us just turned to him like, rude, dude.
Just like waiting for it to click, and then his face, like in the moment of realizing that in a room full of 5 dudes, he's the only one with a dad. He was just like, he felt so bad he couldn't do anything. So that's kind of been a running joke for
It really is.
since high school.
Yeah, I will text him on the day before Father's Day, and I will say, "Hey brother, how you doing? What's going on for Father's Day?"
You're a dog father now. Should I get you something?
No, dude, I hate that term. I own her, and she owns a part of me as well.
I didn't save her. She saved me.
There are tags with that, and there's also a tag that said, "Who rescued who?"
Yeah.
It's like, I rescued her. Let's be real. She made my life better? Absolutely. I'm more fit than I've ever been in my whole life, but she can't feed me every day, all right? She doesn't have that kind of ability. I, however, can feed her multiple times a day.
Yeah, it's true.
I could overfeed her and make her a chunko, or I could just keep feeding her the right amount so she stays powerful.
Yeah.
Although she's getting strong and heavy, and I don't know if I can carry her.
She's just watching you.
Yeah, she's a real sweetheart. I don't talk that much when it's just the two of us.
I would assume not. She's like, you can't converse, with her.
I mean, just in general, like a lot of our time together is in this house, and our house is very quiet. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Cool. Well, that's all I had for my notes. And
You had way better questions.
we had questions.
See, the problem is that I knew that the hot sauce was gonna hurt, and I kind of banked on it.
I forgot about the hot sauce before I got here, and then you caught me off guard with it. But it was fun. I liked it. I liked the idea. I didn't like the flavor of the sauce, but that's expected.
The flavor is not bad. It's not the worst hot sauce I've ever had.
The thing is, when it's something that hot, I can't taste anything beyond the heat. So it's like, yeah, it doesn't taste like chemicals, which I guess is good.
Yeah.
But it's not great.
Yeah, I want to get one of the hot sauces from the Hot Ones TV. Oh my god, I want to get one of the hot sauces from the Hot Ones TV show because everyone hypes it up. Have you seen the Dr. Squatch soap commercials on YouTube?
I don't think I know what that is.
Oh my god.
Dr. Squatch?
Squatch. You
Like
should watch.
Sasquatch?
Yeah.
Okay.
Watch them.
Okay.
I bought $21 worth of soap from them, and I'm going to let you know how that goes.
Living a life where you buy premium soaps is like one of the most underappreciated, like, small things you can do to feel like a baller.
Yeah, but here's the thing: is there's a good chance these are absolutely terrible.
Oh.
Because one of them is like eucalyptus and Greek yogurt, and I don't know how I feel about it. Honestly, like I'm not much of like a bar soap person in the first place. I'm much more of like a shower gel person.
Yeah.
But the commercial's very funny, and so me and JC and Trevor just decided we're gonna buy in and just see how it goes.
Nice. We'll report back on the Squatch soap.
I will once I get it. I don't know when I'm supposed to get it, but I will report back.
Nice.
You should try it.
We'll do.
They have a little
You
quiz.
want to share soap with me?
No. They have a quiz that will help you pick out the correct soap for you
Okay.
based on like your personality and like what you're into.
Okay. Do you have like any like beef scented varieties? I kind of want to smell like beef. I feel like that's my personality. Or like a McDonald's French fry option.
There's a Vine where a little kid just goes, "I smell like beef," and mom just cracks up, and that reminded me of.
Yazeed. There's a Vine about this actually.
There's a Vine about.
If you go on TikTok, this is actually just
my God.
so
I
funny.
know
It just
I don't
happened.
go on TikTok, but TikTok is improving somewhat. Yeah, a little bit. Some of them are funny. A lot of them aren't. But there's a lot more TikToks than Vines.
It's true. There's so much content that people make on the internet that's just stupid.
Patch Notes, the Home Games podcast. I don't know if you were purposely setting me up for that, but I felt like it was too.
I was not setting you up for that. Perfect. That's it. I mean, we can't do anything.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you for listening / watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Give us feedback. Whatever. Follow us on Twitter. Homegames.io.
Yeah.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah, let us know what you think about achievements in games, and if my idea will actually work, or if it's just the fever dream of two idiots.
And all you crypto experts out there, give us
Actually,
feedback.
legitimately, if somebody knows what they're doing in terms of like crypto and cryptography, I'd love to know more about it because I'm a big dumb boy.
We both are. Yeah. Anyway, cool. Thanks for listening. See you next week.